So I want to give a quick tutorial on all of the things in the character menu so that if you're new to this type of game, you know exactly what you're looking for and you can actually go through and, you know, the places that you're struggling with, you can learn about. It's complicated if you don't know what's going on. So we're going to speed blitz. There you go. Already we're making so much progress being fast. Character attributes screen. You're going to see your name of the character. For your rover, it's going to be whatever your username is. You're going to see their element, which matters for tacit Discord fields and that sort of thing. They're going to be describing, you know, certain player buffs or enemy buffs based off of element. That's really where this is going to play into account, as well as other character abilities, that sort of deal. These dots depend on your ascension level, which is based off of leveling up and ascending. Leveling up and ascending. Leveling up, it uses these vials right here, and eventually you'll hit some kind of maximum. When you hit a maximum, you have to ascend, where you need to gather up materials. If you don't know where the materials are that you want, the game will tell you. If it has this icon, then you can click on it and it'll show you where to go. Like if it's a monster, it'll be like part of this menu. I can hit detect because I haven't found this in game yet, right? And it'll show me where I need to go, right? And so this is what I was talking about when it came to the element being important, right? So they have increased res to spectral damage. So maybe I don't want to use spectral characters when fighting this. Like this flower, I can buy them somewhere, so I can click on it. These are overworld locations, right? I can't click on them and show me where I want to go. So at that point, just open your map, search around. You should be able to find these, hopefully. Overworld collection, I think, just means you pick them up off of the ground. So that's all that is. If any of them have synthesis, it means that as you ascend more and more, you're going to need higher and higher tiers of that item. So you can use lower tiers to combine them to make the higher tiers. Your stats, there is a very long stats page, but basically you have amount of health, your attack, crit rate, and crit damage are going to be how much damage you do generally. Defense, how defensive you are. Max stamina is based off of your character and the amount of echoes you've captured, and that's all. It's not specific to any character. And it sometimes get damage buffs based off of specific things like your skill or your basic attack or your heavy attack or your resonance liberation. You can get damage bonuses specific to damage types, and you can also get resistance increases to certain damage types and bonuses to healing output. How can you get buffs to all of those things? I'm so glad you asked. You can get that on your weapon. So every character is going to have some kind of weapon, and it's going to give a basic attack increase, a substat of some kind, this is going to be different from each weapon, and some kind of skill that is unique to that type of weapon. This is where you can get some different builds going that maybe focuses more on a character's healing capabilities or a character's damage dealing capabilities, that sort of thing. You can upgrade them similarly by leveling them up, needing to ascend them, and you can also combine them to go from rank 1 up to rank 5. What that'll do is it will take this bonus number here for any of the skills, and then it'll improve them. So sometimes it's increasing that, sometimes it's decreasing the cooldown. So if you have multiple copies of a weapon, you can combine them without having to level them up, get improvement that way, which is very cool. You have echoes. Echoes require their own tutorial on their own to really understand, but basically as you capture things throughout the world while you're playing, they're going to have stats on them, right? This is going to say, you know, some kind of main stat and substat as you go through, like, and all of them are different, right? So like yeah, so if we look at this one, it's like both of them are HP, whereas this one's spectral damage bonus and attack. Then they can have substats as well, and then they have some kind of category. As you have either 2 or 5 of them equipped at the same time on one character, you get extra bonuses. This can get very complicated, so I recommend looking up tutorials for your character to be like, hey, what set makes sense? What specific echo should I maybe try for? But that's effectively what's going on here. If you're just playing through the story, you probably can get away with just looking at your echoes, trying to make some sets, find some main stats that make sense. Maybe you want to match damage bonus types to the character's type, which you can see in the attributes detail screen. Ooh, look at that. It's already paying off. You can do it that way. The Forte screen is complicated, but basically this is where you can upgrade your skills. Along the bottom is going to be the things that you can potentially click. So your basic attack for a character. It will also describe your heavy attacks. If your character has specific mid-air attacks or dodge and countering, explain that. With skill info, it'll explain to you in words how things work, and then in details, it'll give you the raw numbers. You can go through and you can do this for your skill as well. It'll explain it for your resonance liberation, your intro skill, and your outro skill. Your outro skill cannot be buffed in any way, it just is what it is. You can use your intro and outro skill by building concerto energy, by hitting stuff, and also if people pronounce it concerto, don't actually them in their comments. However, just know for a fact that you are cultured because you know it is concerto. Take it from a guy who plays saxophone. So everything else in this, things you click, the Forte gauge, this is explaining what that bar above your health does. This button right here is a beautiful button because it explains to you how the Forte gauge works for your character, right? So this is explaining the rover. If I go back, like, let's go Yang Yang, right? And I click this, so now it's going to explain Yang Yang specifically. Explain to you how do you use it, what does, you know, each potential different skill based off of Forte gauge do. Highly, highly recommend looking that over for your character. Every row above this are extra unlockable things, which maybe you can activate it and you just don't have the materials. Maybe you need to increase the rank of your resonator in order to get it, but very, very useful thing to read over here. Sometimes they can be these very basic, just your attack number goes up. Other ones is, hey, these specific things you do. So like the basic attack resonating echoes for Rover, if I go and look at their basic attack, see resonating echoes here, is perform resonating spin and then tap the left click. Well, resonating spin is when I use E with 50 Forte gauge. So that specific version of the basic attack gets increased by 60% because I have this active, right? And so that's very good to unlock when you're able to, for characters, make them better permanently. If we then, like, yeah, okay, so this is a good time to talk about this. The combo tutorial. Every character has a combo tutorial. You can either see it on that screen, or if you go into your guide and then you look at, let's see, it's one of these tabs. There we go. So we have the path of growth, skill training. It's going to show you all of the characters you have unlocked. For characters that you have not done the tutorial for yet, you get a little bit of rewards for it, and they're going to link towards their ascension as well, which is nice. A little bit of S-Straight, do some pulling, and some shell credit so you can buy stuff. You can still do the tutorial again if you've done it once before, if you want to relearn a character, refresh the combos that they do. So that's very, very helpful, especially if you're starting a new character. Resonance chain is when you get duplicates of characters. As you can see in the character list here, I have one of each of these characters. There's nothing duplicated in the list. It's because you can only have one of a character. But sometimes the game gives you multiple. When that happens, you increase this resonance chain to unlock new abilities. And so sometimes they can be applicable to a specific type of skill. Other times, it's just a general buff, that sort of deal. You can go all the way from having none of these all the way up to 6 extra copies. So you get a character 7 times, you'll max out this potential here. If you get more beyond that, then the game typically gives you extra credits for you to use in the shop. Then the information tab for the rover is going to look a little different than everyone else. It's going to be missing a few things. But basically we have voice, which is going to show you, specific voice lines of the character. And we have pose, which will let you see idle animations.
This is a testament to my connection with the Lord.
If we go to any other character, though, we have a few different options now. We have experience and cherished items. It's based off of the intimacy level, right? And so we're going to get some character details here, right? So if lore is your thing, you get materials to read up on. Then you also get cherished items, which are going to be some interesting, like, you know, lore bits of like something that character cherishes. It's in the name, you know, so similar deal. This intimacy stuff, how do you get that? Well, let's use weekly challenge as an example, right? So if I look at, you know, this boss fight here, one of the things that comes from it is this reward intimacy. Any character that is in your party, when you complete something that rewards intimacy, will have the intimacy level increase. So if you want to increase the intimacy of a character, you have to use them for these types of things. They can't just sit in the back like the Pokemon with the EXP share on. They have to at least be in your party to do it. They can't be in the PC. There we go. That's the analogy. So genuinely, I think if those are all understood by you, then you're good to go in this game. You know what everything at least is, and then you can search up more specific guides if necessary. So it's like you read all that and you're like, okay, that's cool, I know what's going on, but is there a specific like weapon that's really good for my rover, or like an artifact, like an echo set? Like, how do I even get better echoes? You know, should I prioritize my basic attack or my resonance liberation when leveling up? All those kinds of questions, you now, you know, you can ask those because you know what these things are. And that's the whole goal of this. So if this was helpful to you in any way, I would appreciate you letting me know in the comments and giving a like on the video. Subscribe for more stuff like this and, you know, other types of content. I do Pokemon related stuff. I stream on Twitch. It's a good time, so I've been told by myself, in the shower, not crying, I swear. But yeah, if there's any other type of tutorial you want me to make, whether you want me to go in depth on something or another one of these overview type things, let me know and I may very well do that. But that's all for now. Thanks a ton. Peace out.